All right, everybody, and we are joined by our friend Kelly Scaletta. Kelly, it's great to have you on the show. We are super excited to talk to you. If nobody knows you, why don't you introduce yourself, let everybody know what you're all about.
My name's Kelly, and I've written for several sites, including Bleacher Report and FanRag, although I guess they don't want to be called FanRag anymore. But now I'm most of my writing nowadays is on The Step Back.
Oh, right on. Kelly did a lot of writing for, this is how I actually met Kelly, is he did a lot of writing for the Chicago Bulls for Bleacher Report, and then he moved to Houston, Texas, and he's covering the Rockets now. So this is exactly why we wanted to have Kelly on for you guys. He's got a little taste of home here for Chicago, and he's got the insight over in Houston for the Rockets. So Kelly, why don't you give us your breakdown for Golden State and Houston?
I think this series is fascinating because, one, I think, as good as LeBron has been in the last round, and even for the whole playoffs and heck, the whole season, these are the two best teams in the NBA. But and there's a lot of things about the teams that are really similar. They shoot a lot of threes. They have great defenders who switch really well. They're both deep at the wings. They have the two best backcourts in the NBA. Like, you can go on and just make these casual associations that are very similar, but they're also so different in terms of how they get the job done. The Warriors are one of the top passing teams in the league. Don't remember what the tracking numbers showed, but I think they were way up there in passes per game. The Rockets are closer to the bottom in passes per game. They both like to score off the screens, but the Warriors like to run multiple screens and score that way. The Rockets, it's very simplified. It's like one screen and just a basic pick and roll or something like that, or an isolation with one screen. And so their means of getting there are completely different, but the results are pretty close to identical, if you follow me.
Absolutely.
Have you ever heard that, the expression, there's more than one way to skin a cat? Like, if you were to just look at two skinned cats, you wouldn't be able to tell which one the Rockets skinned and which one the Warriors skinned. But if you went back and watched the really graphic, disgusting video of the cats getting skinned, you would just be like, wow, there really is more than one way to skin a cat.
That's awesome.
I've never heard that expression
so
before,
different.
but I like it.
So if you're going to take that... Oh, go ahead, Kelly, sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Yeah, if you were going to go and take that... if you're going to go and take that the step further with skinning the cat reference, what do the Rockets have to do differently to beat the Warriors in the 7-game series that maybe makes the Warriors uncomfortable? What do they possess on their team, maybe on their roster, the way that they go about the game per 48 or whatever, that they do differently that you think can actually give the Warriors fits?
I think it's what they've been doing all season to succeed is they run a lot of ISO, but this is not your old Joe Johnson ISO. This isn't your Kobe Bryant ISO. This isn't try and back somebody up into the mid-range and do a turnaround jumper ISO. This is a completely different offense from that sort of thing. These are, like, think about this. I think people haven't really truly appreciated this fact. Chris Paul is the second best shot creator on an NBA team.
Yeah, that's not said a lot.
When Chris Paul is your second best shot creator, you have a really good team because you've got two guys that can do virtually anything with the ball. And so I think that both of them, especially once it's all spread out in isolation, they can do one of three things. They can either get to the rim, although with Paul it tends to be more he can get into the mid-range area and hit a turnaround jumper, but not in the same way that Kobe Bryant did, for instance, because he's incredibly efficient with that. James Harden's a little more likely to get to the rim. They can both draw fouls, or they can both do, do a step-back jumper. And so defenders don't even know which direction to go. If they cheat heading to the basket, then they get caught there. If they cheat trying to come up, then then Harden or Paul blow past them. And if you pull somebody else over to try and help stop Harden and Paul, then you've got another guy open, and you're talking about two guys that can, destroy you with the passing game. I'm not positive about this, but I looked it up, and I think this is the only time. I think both players ended up averaging around 8.5 assists, and I don't think that's ever happened in NBA history with two players from the same team averaging that many assists.
Yeah, I actually read that. I did see that, Kelly. This is like the first time in NBA history that two players average over 8 assists a game.
And the other thing is, if you look, this I did research, and if you look at the number of points that they scored, like they accounted for in games where they both played, no one has ever, between the two of them, they produced more points than any combination of teammates in NBA history.
That's insane.
And that's taking account of when they passed each other the ball, and like when they assisted one another. That's accounting for like games where they, like one was injured, or this is just when they played together, and discounting when they passed the ball to one another. No pair of teammates in NBA history has accounted for more points. It was around 83, 84 points per game. That when they both played, they put 83 or 84 points per game on the board. And when you have two guys creating 84 points a game, you don't need a whole lot of point creating from the rest of your roster. And that does two things. First of all, it puts just a constant pressure on the other team. You've always got a Hall of Fame point guard on the court. So there's no, even like with Steph Curry, when Steph takes a break, the defense can relax just a tiny bit. When LeBron James sits down, the defense can basically take a nap. You can't do that with the Rockets. As soon as you let your guard down just a tiny bit, either Harden or Paul can just explode, and and it's like a 14-point run, and suddenly you're out of the game.
Exactly. The Rockets' offense this year has probably been one of the most, obviously being in the Chicago market, you have the games that are on, TV. On your TNT. I don't have the NBA package, so like on your TNT, your ESPN and whatnot. The Rockets were actually my most favorite team to watch this year, besides Minnesota. And I know a lot of people are going to laugh about Minnesota, but just because I was so interested in see what Thibodeau and Jimmy Butler and Taj and Jamal Crawford, all the former Bulls, were going to do, But the Rockets were such
I think any Chicago
team.
Fan has to love the Minnesota I called them the Minnesota Tibser Bulls.
The Tibser Bulls? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But if you had to pick, Kelly, or take a guess here, who do you think wins the series here between Houston and Golden State, and how many games?
Okay, I was thinking about this, and I'm going to pick the Rockets in an upset. I feel dirty doing it. I feel like a dirty homer. But I just, if the Warriors win it, it's going to be 6 games. I just don't see Houston winning Game 6 in the Oracle, and I don't see the Warriors winning Game 7 in Houston, and I don't see the series going 5 games either way.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So I just keep going back.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's a great prediction. I didn't even think about it like that. So you don't see it going 5 games. It's either going to be Houston, like how that ends. That'd be super interesting to see how that actually goes down.
So I just keep coming back to Houston in 7, and I do think, those last 2 games by Chris Paul, it reminded me a lot of 2011 Dirk.
Oh, okay. I see that. I can see that.
Where it was just like, on my back, I am tired of all the, I'm just tired of it all. This is my year,
it's my
and
time.
Nothing's going to stop me.
Exactly.
And that's, I think that Harden will win the MVP, and I'm going to predict that Chris Paul wins the Finals MVP.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Right. Oh wow! So you have Houston win in the finals if they get there.
Yeah, I don't think Cleveland or Boston has a chance against the Warriors or the Rockets.
I can agree with that.
All right. Well, leading into Cleveland and Boston, then leading into that series, who do you got winning, and how many games?
I almost want to just say I want to see Game 1 before I predict anything for this series. Boston has played so well and over their heads. Maybe over their heads isn't right, but who saw, Terry Rozier becoming like one of the huge stars of this postseason? I appreciate Brad Stevens so much, and every time he's got an answer for everything,
Yeah, he's such a good coach.
But so does LeBron James, and it's like, but can you really pick a coach over GOAT 2? But then was Toronto just mentally defeated by LeBron before the series even started?
Well, I think they were.
So was Indiana a better example of where Cleveland's at? So it's like I just feel like there's so many questions. We don't know what we're going to see from Boston. We don't know what we're going to see from Cleveland. But I'm kind of leaning Boston because of the home court.
Okay.
I think I agree with that too, Kelly. I think Boston's just on a mission because they've lost their best 2 players over the year. They're playing with house money, really, when you look at it, because a lot of the players are on the younger side. I really think that Boston could really get to the final, and like we said, I don't think any of them are getting to beating either the Warriors or the Rockets in that series.
Yeah, I have whoever's coming out of the Western Conference winning the finals also. I just don't see anybody being able to beat Golden State or Houston in a 7-game series.
And that's why I'm hoping that Houston-Golden State series really ends up being just an all-timer, because that's realistically it's the final.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that series. I am very, very excited for that series. And one more thing that we wanted to ask you, Kelly, while we have you here, and like I said, this is how we met, and we made an awesome friendship, and being able to, you helped me with my writing and stuff like that, which I totally appreciate. What do you think about the Bulls' moves just during the season, and how they looked with the younger talent out there, and what do you think they're going to do going forward? Like, are you excited to see this rebuild? Do you think they should try to throw their younger talent into a trade of some sort, or what do you think about the Bulls?
I think what happens, especially if you're a franchise historical accomplishment, is that you want to rush a rebuild. And I think the Bulls have to be careful they don't do that. I think Chris Dunn, he really was able to shine for a while. Laura Markkanen looks like a real deal. I feel like I don't know what to do about the Levine situation. There were times he looked good, but he's got the contract up, and it's just all weird. So I think maybe they'll let him explore free agency and then match whatever offer there is, but let somebody else set the market value on him. Don't just come out day one and give him a max deal. I don't know if anybody else offers him one. So
yeah, I wouldn't want to give him a max at all.
What's that?
I would not want to give him a max contract at all. Like you said, let the market dictate what he's going to do or what he's going to get, and if the Bulls feel strongly enough to match him, they're going to match him. If not, then see you later, you know?
So I feel like there's something there to work with. I don't know. I think you need to be patient. This is really one of those slow and steady wins the race things. You look at teams that have built through this kind of, establishing a core and just working progress. I mean, the Warriors built that way. The Sixers, as much as people want to knock on the process, I think it was a lot more complicated than just suck for 5 years. And but
exactly.
And you see the results now. It's not just Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, but it's also guys like Robert Covington that contribute a lot, even though Covington had a bad series against Boston.
Right, T.J. McConnell, too. I know he went undrafted, but they took a chance on him.
Yeah. Right. And that's the sort of thing I'm talking about, where they're bringing in some other guys, and so like what's his name? David Nwaba, is that it?
Yep, David Nwaba, yep.
Yeah. You know why he never flops?
Why?
Because he Nwabas, but he won't fall down.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, we would really like to thank you having you on, Kelly. You've been great, and thank you so much for joining us. We will be. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again when the Rockets hit the finals and getting your reactions on that. Thank you so much for coming on, man, and we appreciate your time, and we cannot wait to speak to you again.
All right, no problem. Anytime.
All right, have a good one, Kelly. That was Kelly Scaletta off of Bleacher Report. Oh yeah, he's a funny guy. I like Kelly a lot.
Skinning the cat comment was my favorite.
That threw me for a loop. Only on the Outcasts.
But it makes sense though. If you realistically diving into it, these teams, while they're very similar, are very, very different. They, like you said, a lot of different ways to put the ball in the hoop, and both of them do it a different way.
Skinning the cat threw me for a loop.
Yeah, and we'll make our picks right now. Are we gonna make our picks right now?
We'll just do it right now. Yeah, for sure.
I think. And while the things he said are true, Chris Paul and James Harden are great talents. I just don't see that one-on-one ISO type ball beating Golden State, a team who's going to play together the whole time. And I just don't see their answer for Kevin Durant. I love Trevor Ariza, but Kevin Durant is going to get his. He is the problem. It's not Stephen Clay and Draymond. It's the fact that they added the second best player arguably in the league to that core, and nobody other than LeBron James can guard that guy.
Right.
So
I actually go Golden State. I go Golden State.
I went Golden State in 7, actually. I think this is going to be a good series, and him saying that they're going to have to win back at home, obviously Golden State on the road, makes a lot of sense.
I have Golden State in 6.
And I get it. And see, I understand that pick too. I think the fan in me wants Golden State in 7, just so I could say the NBA Finals this year went 7, because I think whatever team that comes out of here is probably winning the series in 5.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's LeBron and Golden State again, LeBron's team is worse than they were.
Notice how he doesn't say the Cavs. He says it's LeBron.
Right, but it is though.
I know.
Kelly's so right about that. It's not the Cavs. It's LeBron James and whatever he can piece together on that roster. But like we said, that's LeBron James' fault. It's not anybody's fault but his own. So I love my Boston boys, and I hope that they pull it out, because I don't want to see another.
It's going to be Golden State. It's going to be Cleveland, in my opinion, and it's going to end. It's going to end in 6.
I think
Cleveland grabs 2.
Do you think they grab 2?
Yeah,
okay.
I think they grab 2.
I think it ends in 5, and it's another
But I was wrong about the Sixers too, so who the hell knows? But
well,
I got Golden State getting another ring in 6 here against Cleveland.
It's just the parity of the NBA and the fact that that team just has. It's a matchup problem for anybody, and I love the Rockets. I think they're going to be able to score to keep up, but can they keep up at that pace that Golden State's going to score at? Because while Houston's been okay defensively, there's still some holes on that team that Golden State's going to be able to. I mean, Harden, to be on the court, is going to have to play defense.
Right. Well, when they go small ball too, Clint Capella is going to become useless.
Right. That's what Steve Kerr's going to do. He's going to play those matchups up and make sure that
he's going to take their third best player off the court.
Right. So,
and I also really liked what he said about I'm not going to dive too much into this because there's really nothing to say about it. But we will by the next podcast. I do believe we're going to have the draft lottery.
Yeah, we'll be and on Tuesday we're hoping. We can go to the actual.
I gotta work,
lottery,
but we're gonna try because I don't have to work the next day, which is great.
Right.
But I love what Kelly said. Don't rush the rebuild.
Yeah, that's huge.
And don't offer Zach LaVine a max contract. Let the market dictate what he's gonna get.
Yeah, and we've talked about this on here. Don't run out and throw money at Zach LaVine and say, hey man, this is what you're worth. Make sure that somebody else sets it. And then you feel a little better about yourself.
And let's hope in 2 or 3 years, just like the White Sox are doing right now, that the Bulls are there. And,
right.
we with prospects and young talent, hopefully we can actually move on up and do something. But I think this was great, man. I really appreciate all of our friends, like that we have made along the way. Just because, like we told you guys in episode 1, we've been down this road before. We've done this before, so it's really cool to have a lot of our old friends and new friends, such as Danny Parkins, come on and join us. If you are watching on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to follow us on Twitter, at MVP Buzzweed, at MVP Juiceman.
Juice!
You didn't get to do that yet.
No, I know. I was waiting for it.
We also
sending them all out with it.
We also didn't have beer today, guys, because this was kind of like an episode where we got together, like we wanted to record tonight, and I got off work a little late. So we came in and we just did our thing, and we ordered a pizza, and it's been upstairs for a while.
Yeah, so we're going to probably drink beer while we eat the pizza.
Exactly. If you go to patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast, you can donate and earn yourself some cool prizes. If you would like a sweet T-shirt, which I'm repping right now, you can go to mostvaluablepodcast.com. You can learn about us, get a T-shirt, see all the other shows such as The Fast Break, The Onside Kick, The Primetime Podcast. Check all those guys out, especially The Fast Break right now because they're doing a lot of basketball talk. So you want to check them out, see what their opinions are on everything. But as for episode 10 is wrapping up here.
Yeah, quick shout out too. Sports Mocker, you get all your
sports literature needs.
And literature needs. And my sister graduating on Saturday.
Also,
from, University of Iowa.
Somebody we're going to shout out right now, our boy Tony.
Yeah, starting to write for the Blackhawks. Take a look. Great stuff on there.
Yeah, he actually just released an article about Team USA today.
Yeah.
So check out him, Tony Generis at certified_Tony G, I believe. It's something like that. But just go into my followers or his followers or who we're following, you'll find them. But that's about it, guys. We will see you next week. Next Thursday we will be recording. So I'm sure you'll see this weekend. We love y'all. Peace.
Have a good weekend.